Welcome to United Report, your daily hub for all things Manchester United. From breaking news to transfer talk and match updates, we've got every red covered. If you live and breathe United, hit subscribe and join the family. Glory, glory, Man United. Chelsea may not have made Jadon Sancho's loan deal permanent, but their pursuit of Borussia Dortmund winger Jamie Gittens could still shape Sancho's future. With Dortmund eyeing a replacement if Gittens departs for Stamford Bridge, Sancho is back on their radar. A third spell at the German club is possible, especially as Manchester United look to offload him permanently or via another loan. Salary demands remain a stumbling block, but Sancho's future might hinge on what Chelsea does next. Chelsea could still hold the key to Jadon Sancho's future, even after deciding not to make the Manchester United winger's loan move permanent. The Blues opted to pay £5 million to the Red Devils in order to avoid signing Sancho after being unable to come to terms with the 25-year-old. And as Chelsea look at alternatives to reinforce their options on the wing, one could yet impact the United ace. The West London side are among those looking to secure a deal for Borussia Dortmund star Jamie Gittens. The 20-year-old is already said to have agreed a 7-year deal with Enzo Maresca's team as they attempt to persuade Dortmund of the move. Chelsea have already tabled a bid of £29.5 million as they rush to get a deal done in time for the Club World Cup. The first part of the transfer window closes on Tuesday. Gittens scored 12 goals and made 5 assists last term as he lit up the early parts of the Champions League by bagging 4 goals in the opening 5 matches. The ex-Manchester City youngster still has 3 years remaining on his contract and a £15 million release clause, however. Crucially, Dortmund will require a replacement if Gittens does depart. Sancho could prove to be an option to arrive for his third spell with the club. The England international arrived at Old Trafford from Dortmund in a £73 million deal and returned to the Westfalen Stadion on loan in January 2024 after falling out with Erik ten Hag. Sancho has little future at United. Dortmund have asked to be kept up to date on any developments over Sancho's future per reports and are one of a number of clubs around Europe interested in a deal. The player's salary could yet prove problematic for United getting the player off of their books, however, and another loan could yet be looked at. Sancho helped Chelsea win the UEFA Conference League and qualify for the Champions League as he made 45 appearances. But his 5 goals and 10 assists reflected a steady season rather than spectacular one. Any move from Dortmund would likely first require Gittens' exit. The Bundesliga giants are also looking to sign Jobe Bellingham from Sunderland with a 31 million, the deal said to be agreed. Sporting director Sebastian Kehl has admitted that Gittens has drawn interest. However, the former midfielder has also warned the club are looking to reduce their wage bill. He said, "There's definitely a market for him, Gittens. He's a very exciting player. We'll be having discussions soon. If offers come in, we'll have to deal with them." "We want to reduce wages," Kehl added. "That said, it's possible we'll continue with some of these players, but some may no longer be part of the BVB squad next season." Rasmus Hojlund looks set to stay at Manchester United with clubs struggling to meet the Red Devils' demands. The Danish forward was linked with a move away from Old Trafford after an awful season. Hojlund scored just 4 Premier League goals for United last term, leading to suggestions that the former Atalanta striker could return to Italy. Inter Milan were among the sides linked with him, while Juventus and Napoli were also credited with interest. But it appears that a move to Serie A is no longer an option according to reports. According to the suggestions in Italy, United's demands of a permanent deal have made a move very difficult. It is reported that United want to receive around £40 million for the 22-year-old, a deal that the Italian sides would struggle to put together. They would only be able to sign him on loan as it stands. Hojlund has recently spoken out on his future at Old Trafford and confirmed that he was looking to stay with the club. He said, "I have a contract until 2030, so I expect to play for Manchester United. I'm looking forward to going on a summer vacation, and then I'm fully dedicated to the project that's underway. I know I can't get much out of reading things. I know what the facts are, and that is that I have a contract with Manchester United until 2030. I expect to play there, so I'm just getting ready for some summer vacation and then hopefully a good pre-season." In all, Hojlund has made 95 appearances for United since his £72 move from Atalanta. In that time, he has scored just 26 goals. Former Red Devil star Phil Jones has suggested that a move away from the club might be best for his career. He said, "It's a difficult one. I feel really sorry for him, Hojlund. And it's obviously been a difficult season for him, but I always find it's difficult for a number 9 in a difficult season. He's probably not getting the chances, the 7-8 chances a game. He's feeding off 1 or 2 that might come into him in the 70th minute, and he's got to produce." It hasn't quite happened for him yet. It's been difficult for him, but I think if he were to move on, he would probably benefit from that. A bit like Marcus Rashford, it's a fresh start for him. It's a difficult one for Rasmus Hojlund. What I would say is, I think that Man United will be looking for another number 9. Maybe that would take a bit of the pressure off him as well if he can manage his minutes between the 2 number 9s. Thomas Frank has told Spurs he wants them to rival Manchester United for £60 million. Brian Mbeumo. Frank is set to be confirmed as Ange Postecoglou's successor next week and is keen to take Brentford's in-demand forward with him to North London. Mbeumo would represent a statement signing for Spurs chairman Daniel Levy, who could trump United's bid with Champions League football. Although United remain favourites for the 25-year-old signature, Mbeumo now has a decision as to whether to follow his head or his heart. The Cameroon international bagged 20 league goals over the past season to attract the attention of United and Newcastle, with the Magpies' January move for him rejected. Only Mohamed Salah, Alexander Isak and Erling Haaland outscored him in the top flight last term, while his 7 assists were also key in helping Brentford to a top half finish. United have made 2 bids for him, with the player, as things stand, open to a move and undeterred by their poor first season under Ruben Amorim. And Mbeumo has a year left on his contract with an option for an extra year. But United, who have held extensive talks with his representatives for some time, have yet to agree a deal with Brentford, leaving the door open for Spurs to make their move. The offer on the table at Old Trafford is around £150,000 a week, with add-ons taking the package up to £200,000 a week. Spurs would offer Mbeumo around £130,000 a week, and although bonuses would still leave them short of the United package, the North Londoners would still have the pull of Champions League football and Frank, who turned Mbeumo into one of the most feared forwards in the top flight. His hot streak last season ended fears that the Bees would struggle after seeing star striker Ivan Toney leave for Saudi Arabia on transfer deadline day in August. Speaking about Mbeumo's future earlier this month, Frank said, "It is clear that if he is to be sold, it must be for a nice amount. It is a lot, really a lot. Then it is clear that it is impossible to replace him 1 for 1. It cannot be done. There is a reason why he costs X number of £1 million and we do not have X number of £1 million to buy for." He added, "I would say that I would be surprised if a lot of big clubs don't look at him. I would be surprised with what he has to offer. How many wingers score 20 goals for a mid-table club, and then with 7 assists plus his work ethic and his character? All these things mean that he has a lot, so he's a good player."